to Cozy Corner. I know I've got this up again, my bean bag's still falling down. Yeah, so Cozy Corner is where I'm going to talk about books and book reviews. This will be a spoiler-free review, as all Cozy Corner videos will be. If you didn't see my last Cozy Corner, I talked about Divergent by Veronica Roth, and today we are going to talk about a very popular book, who also is a very popular YouTuber, the author is, and it's recently been made into a film. I'm yet to see the film, but I cannot wait for it to be released on DVD Blu-ray in November. That's when it comes out here in the UK. I think it might have been released on Blu-ray in the US already, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, without further ado, oh, the owl has fallen down. Stay there, owl. Okay. It is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. It took me quite a long time to get around to reading this book because with the subject matter being quite intense and people saying it was really sad and stuff, I was kind of holding off on it for a bit. But it is also my first John Green book that I've read. So that was really cool and interesting, and I have gone ahead and ordered another one of his books. Probably when I was about halfway through this one, actually, I thought, you know what, I'm going to order another one of his books. Because the writing style in this was amazing. I loved it. It was definitely one of my favourite parts about the book was John Green's writing. And I think that's something that is really important for me in this book. I think reading the premise and being this type of book, it's not something I usually would have picked up, but with it being written by John Green, I wanted to pick it up because I've definitely had an interest in his books for a while, and it was kind of between picking up this, looking for Alaska and Paper Towns. And I went ahead and picked this up one time because it was, I think I got it in a supermarket or something, and people have been talking about it, so I picked it up, and like I say, it took me a little while to get around to reading it, but I'm so glad that I did. So basically the story is about this girl called Hazel who is 16, who has cancer in her lungs, and you know, her illness is terminal, but it's been prolonged by medicine that she's been able to take, so you're not sure, kind of, you know. And that sounds really kind of sad and depressing. It is a really serious and sad subject, but the way that John Green writes, some of the things, you find yourself laughing in a book that sometimes at things that maybe you quite shouldn't, and it's so brilliant in that way, and that's something I loved about this. Like I said, the writing was brilliant. And I really loved that. So basically Hazel meets this boy called Augustus who also had cancer, and he now has a prosthetic leg, and you know, he is doing a lot better, and she's kind of, you know, she's got the little oxygen tank that she has to carry around and stuff, but she goes to this support group, and that's kind of where the story all begins, in this support group, in the literal heart of Jesus is what they call it. And they also have this friend called Isaac. At first I was like, not sure if I like Isaac's character. I was a bit unsure, but then I really grew to really like Isaac, and he definitely became a character that I really enjoyed. But like I said, at the beginning I was a bit unsure. I was like, I'm not sure if I like Isaac's character, but then he really grew on me. But yeah, both Hazel and Augustus are characters that I love, and they were both so smart but funny, and I don't know, they were both really great characters. Hazel has this favourite book, and she talks about it quite a lot, and it's really a big part of her life, but it was really cool to obviously be reading a book, and I love reading a book where the character is really into books and reading, and Augustus also has some books that he likes. It's nice to find out their interests. I feel like you really get to know the characters. Even though the book is pretty short, it feels like a lot happens in such a short space of time, and if this is a topic that you aren't necessarily used to reading about, or not something you would usually pick up, I still highly recommend you pick this book up and give it a read. There are sad parts, and there's definitely parts when reading this book that literally I thought that my heart stopped for a second. I was like, and then I just like have to carry on. And yes, there was twists and turns and surprises and things that I didn't predict. I kind of thought that with stories like this often you can predict what's going to happen, but with this book it wasn't that way. I didn't know, nobody had spoiled it for me, so hopefully no one spoiled it for you, and so I was surprised along the way in different things, and there was like a subplot that I really enjoyed, and they get to take a trip, and that was probably one of my favourite bits. This trip, I'm not really going to say much about it, but once you read the book you'll know, and I don't know, I loved that part of the book, and it's something that I thought, when going into this book I knew where some of the book was going to be set, and I was like, not sure if I don't know, I just was a bit dubious going into the book, honestly, and I loved it, and I don't know, there's so much to love about this book. So many funny moments, so many funny lines. It feels like I say, it feels like so much happens in so little time. I loved Hazel's family, and they were really, I don't know, I really liked her mum. There's something about her mum that I really liked. Her mum was always kind of lingering around waiting for her, because, you know, she's obviously, Hazel's sick, and her mum's kind of taken now all of her life to look after Hazel, and Hazel's like, oh, you know, I don't want you to do this, but her mum was really, really sweet. And Hazel was such a lovable but fun character. She was never like, even though sometimes her illness would get her down, she was never like too down on it, and she would still be like quirky and funny. And I don't know, there's something about it, and her mum just kind of wanted her to be a typical teenager and get out of the house, and then that's why she started going to the support group, and then, you know, there's some fun times with her and Augustus. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed this book a lot, and I think the best thing about it was that the book made me think. Like, I'd read, like, you know, somewhat, and then I'd put it down, and after putting the book down, I'd like have to think about things a lot, and it made me reflect on things maybe in my life and situations of, like, you know, I don't know, it was a really, really great book. I like to read something that will make you think and reflect upon your surroundings, and if maybe, obviously, I'm very lucky to be in the situation that I am, that I've never been through anything like this, so I was very, you know, it just kind of reminds you of things like that, and I thought it was really, really good, but it wasn't done in a, like, pushing on you way. It wasn't like, think about this, or anything like that. It was just done in subtle ways, but it made you think. Jongi's writing, I think, was to credit for that. But yeah, overall, I really, really love this book. Again, this is my second book review, so I feel like it's a bit dwindly, and I've probably not said the best things as another more professional book review would do, but those are my thoughts. I loved the book, I loved the trip they took, I loved where this book took me, and I imagined it so vividly with the great writing style, and I cannot wait to read more by John Green, and I cannot wait to see the film. So I highly recommend this book. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. I think it's something that I could reread, and I think I would enjoy it more, because I think I'd pick up on more. I think there's a lot to pick up on in this book that you might not pick up on a first read, and that is a great book. If you think you can read it again, then I think it does a really good job, but I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars for now. So yeah, that is my review of Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Make sure you check it out. Let me know in the comments below if you've read the book. Let me know if you're enjoying Cozy Corner. Subscribe if you haven't already if you're a newbie, and thumbs up for more of these videos. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!